What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. I've got a lot of new developments for this video, so let's get started. To start it off, check out what came. The Dellorto, baby. This just showed up, so we might as well quick unbox it on camera for you guys. But this would have been the install today, but I'm still waiting on the Blada 2.5 intake. You have to run this. You have to run that with this carburetor. This is the Dellorto 14x14, and from what I've heard, it's just excellent for the 47cc engines. So, oh, this must be the air filter for it. Kind of an interesting kind of setup. I'll have to look more in depth into that, but yeah, guys, check out this carby. First time I'm seeing it myself, but let's open it up here. It's actually sort of has that same look as the other version of the performance carb I've been flashing around, but massive air filter hole. I'm considering just doing a screen over this, so I don't know that I'll be running this, because a good trick I just learned about was you just put a screen over this. That way it keeps debris out and it's going to let the maximum air in possible, which is great. It's a great idea. So this is looking good, and why you need that 2.5 Blada intake is because of that hole right here. It's different, obviously, bigger. And so this basically right here saves you the time and work and efforts of having to mill out your carb itself. This was about 35 bucks, and to me that's totally worth it. And again, these jet changes are very easy to do, I've heard too, so yeah, this thing was a good choice, I think. So here's that air filter setup, but just look at how restricting that is. But this alone might be good enough. What do you guys think? Should I go with this on here only? Obviously I have to attach it so it stays on there, but yeah, I mean, this is basically what I'm talking about. But this screen honestly looks, if I can get it back off, what I was gonna say is this screen even looks a bit too much like, this is probably 2-3 layers stacked on each other. I mean, of course it's gonna keep the debris out, but I don't know, this might be too restricting. What do you guys think? Should I go with just this, or just maybe one layer of finer screen? I'm not sure yet. I can still have time to decide here. So I have that other stackable carb right here, and you can just tell, let me flip this around, the diameter difference. So about 15 mil for that, but check out the Dellorto. Woo! Almost 19. It should be 19, but then of course on the opposite side, the air filter side, I mean, check out how small the stackable one is compared to the Dellorto. But I've decided I'm not going to just outright return the stackable one right here. I'm just going to keep it as a spare. It's brand new. I mean, why not? I did start a return with the seller. Just, you know, told him it's up to him how he wants to do it. I wanted to go for a better carb, but I think I'm just gonna, you know, not even mess with the return. I never want to be the guy that just has to return stuff for basically no reason, so that's why I'm just eating it and keeping it. But I do have a spare carb now, and I appreciate you guys giving me the info that you guys have had with this carburetor. I've heard some good things about it too. But with that being said, I'm not getting out of returning nothing at all. And that's what's in this box right here, so let's talk about it. So in the box right here is the electric start, guys. I had a chance to do some mock-ups with it finally, and it's not gonna work for the engine. The seller does state in the title that it's for 47cc and 49cc, but upon further research with him, messaging him that the bolt holes were just not lining up, plus the diameter of everything wasn't even lining up. There's big gaps, basically big air spaces, and he said that it's made for a replacement, not an add-on. So my engine basically is different than those engines that have them already pre-built on them, and I'll flash a picture right here on the screen. But that sucks, guys. I am in contact with another seller that it looks like he does have the correct one that I need on a full engine that he's trying to sell. So I'm trying to get the info, what part number that is, so I can go ahead and get that. And again, I'm not saying that I really want the electric start for myself, but I want to give you guys the chance to make the decision for yourselves on if you want the electric start, because some people really prefer it, and I myself am very curious about those electric starts on an engine like this. So I hope not too many of you guys jumped the gun and went ahead and ordered that. I know a few people asked me where I got it. It was basically the only one on eBay, but as you can see, the engine is still disassembled, which I kind of mentioned that in the crank or the turbo crank mod video last weekend. But yeah guys, obviously I got a lot of comments on, let me grab the crankshaft actually. So here we go, here's the crank that we modified last weekend, and obviously the majority of the comments were saying that it's now unbalanced. So I guess the question for it is, how would I get it balanced properly? Because obviously, you know, ideally I could disassemble each side here, but it looks like it's pressed together, so I don't really see that happening. But you know, I need it to be balanced. You can obviously eyeball it that they're pretty dang close, but it's tough to say for sure. Obviously the crank, you know, it has to be pretty much perfect. I've also heard that it's not going to matter at all because the engines vibrate a lot anyways, and they're just all different. But obviously I do still have that full circle crank, but I'm not trying to blow my engine with this thing here, so give me your guys' final opinion on it and what I need to do. There was also another big YouTuber that was going to make a video response to this because he obviously felt that I did not do it correctly, so I'm waiting for that one, and hopefully he lets me know when that drops. Someone did mention that someone close to them does do this mod and they put it on a lathe, but I don't know how that would work because, I mean, if you're putting it on a lathe, it's gonna spin, you know, like this. You're not gonna necessarily be able to take the, you know, it's not gonna work like that. If you were working on this, then of course that would work because it's just flat, but I don't see that really working out for this kind of shape here. And lastly, on the turbo crank, there was some suggestions that I needed to do this from the inside too, to actually make sharpen, you know, a point basically in the middle, but I haven't seen it done that way. I've seen it done this way, so that's why I did it this way. So I guess at this point it is still up in the air if I'm gonna end up just putting the full circle in there and maybe trying the turbo crank later on or something, but maybe we'll start with the full circle, and I'll do an install on that. And but other than that, guys, the engine's getting close to firing. I mean, we got the carburetor to go, and then we're gonna obviously upgrade that reed. I've got the carbon fiber reed still, and what else? We've got the racing style clutch still, and the flywheel. I have to decide how I want to modify this because I do have this one, but it's kind of in bad shape. I did get a full refund, like I mentioned to you guys, and I also heard that this isn't even the best way to make the flywheel performance, I guess. There's different ways for free that you can modify the stock one. And then for the ignition coil, I didn't really see a lot of reason to upgrade it to the performance one because it looked like it was just a matter of this being more durable. I'm not sure if the connection is better with the performance one. There's barely any information on it. And there's one out there too that's just simply red in color, which they call the performance ignition coil. So, bit ridiculous. I might end up sticking with the stock one. Let me know though if you have experience with the performance ignition coil, or should I just keep this one because it basically looks the same, it's just the end is different. So I know I'm asking a lot of questions in this video, but I guess my goal is just hopefully one person or multiple people have different answers and different opinions. I don't expect one person to answer every single question, but if they have the answer, hey, go for it. I really appreciate all the info from you guys on this build, and of course we've got the performance pipe back there. You know, that'll be for when we're gonna fire up the engine. I don't see a lot of reason to just do an install video if I'm not gonna be starting up the engine with that pipe. You know, originally I was gonna have the engine run stand, you know, set in the beginning and then do an upgrade, run it, do an upgrade, run it, but now that we're moving along with these upgrades kind of so quickly and consecutively, I'm thinking I'm just gonna do that run stand at the very end now so that I can tune it properly with the Dellorto and everything. And then to bring up the exhaust pipe again, I do plan on port matching it at least, since the install video is probably gonna be pretty dang simple. But that'll probably be my extent of porting it just to start, because we wanna get this engine running at least before we go all out. At least I feel that we should do it that way. I mean, we got to get some kind of running going, making sure we're all tuned up and everything's going to be copacetic here. So that's going to be it for the quick update video and everything. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully some of the questions in the video can get answered by you guys. But yeah, I think the build's going to be smooth riding, hopefully, from this point on. And yeah, just do your best to try to help me out some more. Community build here, guys, so we want to get this thing in tip-top shape. But again, thank you for watching. See you next time.